everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the tour of my ARC shelf. Yeah, I decided to do this video mostly because I am going to be doing a big bookshelf tour here in a little bit, depending on how much you guys like this video, and I just wanted a little practice run to see like how long this takes so I can kind of judge how long that's going to take and just sort of have a little bit of practice doing it before I do my actual bookshelf tour, because that one's going to take a really long time because I have a lot of books. So yeah, I decided to do this tour. If you want to know, I actually get all of my ARCs from my local bookstore because I'm a part of a program there to where I get ARCs and then I write reviews for them if I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's why I have so many ARCs, and also I'm part of a book club at that same bookstore, and my book club leader gives me ARCs just for fun that I could read and maybe write reviews on. It's just a fun time, okay? So that's why I have all these ARCs. I'm not in contact with any of the publishers or anything like that. I just get these from my local bookstore. So yeah, I thought this would be a fun video to do. Lots of these books are sort of underrated ARCs. I don't have a bunch of like highly anticipated releases on this shelf. I have a few, but I don't really have a lot. Most of these are books that I've never heard of, so I'm sure you guys won't have heard of them. I'm going to try to give little summaries for them, but that might not work out very well because a lot of these ARCs I actually don't really know a lot about because I got them a while ago, or I just got them based on the cover. And so yeah, I will attempt to do little short summaries for each, but you would probably be better off going to Goodreads and looking them up if my short little summary sounds intriguing to you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you do, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And also bear with me because this is my first time doing a tour, so it might be a little weird, but you know, I'm learning. Don't like hate me or anything. So yeah, let's get started with the tour. So here is an overview of the top shelf of my ARC shelf, and over to the far left is my Hamilton, and then I have my little Star Wars BB-8 pop figure, and then I have a Harry Potter and the Cursed Child logo, I have a ceramic white J, I have my Harry Potter wand on top, I have a bookmark that says this page has been reserved for later reading. So I just wanted to give you guys an overview before I take off all of the swag stuff that's on top, and then we get into the books. So this is an overview of the shelf without all of the other stuff on top of it, so I'm just going to be getting into the books now. The first one I have, starting over here at the far right, I have Burning Midnight by Will McIntosh. And basically this book is about a world where you have to collect these colorful orbs, and then you get like different things like superpowers or different things. I don't know, it kind of reminded me a lot of Lilo and Stitch, honestly. That might be completely way off, but it sounds really interesting. Up I have On the Edge of Gone by Corinne Doivis, and also I'm apologize if I pronounce any of these names wrong because that's a struggle for me, honestly. But this book is a sci-fi. It takes place in the future, and it actually follows an autistic girl, and so I thought that was really unique. And I have not read this one yet, but it is pretty big, but it sounded really good when I read the summary of it. What I have is A Drop of Night by Stefan Bachman. And I don't know, this cover is just really cool. I mean, it basically follows a girl who's been chosen to participate in this contest in this like French mansion, and no one has been to this specific place in France for like 200 years, but everything is not as it seems. The summary wasn't very detailed, but I really liked the cover and it looked very promising. The next book I have is Into the Dim, and I know this isn't the final cover that I came up with, but this book I know deals with time travel, and she thinks that her mom is dead, but it turns out that her mom actually time traveled or something like that, and so the main girl of this book, whose name is Hope, she has to go and try to find her mother in a different time period. I don't know, time travel, I love time travel, it sounded really cool. Next, I have The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner, and this book was fabulous. I read this book actually last month, and it was absolutely spectacular. Ignore the books falling. This book basically follows a boy named Dill and his two friends, Lydia and Travis, and basically it's their final year of high school and they're just trying to figure it out. This book was really sad. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. It was really sad, but it was moving, and it like deals with heavy topics like suicide, and it was just very unexpectedly good. I just really, really loved it. Have it signed, yes! Next, I have Tell Me Three Things by Julie Buxbaum. This basically follows a girl named Jessie, and she moves to a new state after her mother dies and her father remarries, and it's basically about her trying to figure it out in high school as well. But she ends up meeting a boy online. Well, she gets an anonymous email from this boy asking permission to give her help on how to survive high school, and she has no idea who this person is, but they ended up having a close bond and relationship, and I thought it was really good. I think I gave it like 4 stars or something like that. It was really good. I have Tell the Wind and Fire by Sarah Reese Brennan. Sarah Reese Brennan is the lady that helped Cassandra Clare write the Bane Chronicles, and I think maybe Shadowhunter Academy. I don't really know. But this book is a Tale of Two Cities retelling, and that's good enough for me. I picked it up, and because it was a Tale of Two Cities retelling, and if you guys don't know, I love Tale of Two Cities. I have not read this yet, but it looks really, really good. Next up, I have Flamecaster by Cinda Williams Chima. This is the newest novel in sort of the Seven Realms universe. If you guys don't know, I have completed her Air Chronicles just a few months ago, and I actually haven't started with the Seven Realms series yet, so I'm going to have to read all of the Seven Realms series books first before I read this one, because I've been told that there are spoilers about that series in this book, because this is sort of like a sequel in the same world following different characters. So anyway, so it's going to be a while until I read this one, but I'm excited to when I have the time. Next up, I have The Land of 10,000 Madonnas by Kate Hattemer, and this, as far as I can tell, is about a boy named Jess, and he is dying of some kind of disease, and as his final sort of like gift to the world, he sends his friends on this like cross-country road trip adventure, and I don't know, it sounds really sad. I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about this one, but it sounds sad just because it deals with like illness and obviously that all kind of stuff. But yeah, I picked this up because it sounded like a really good coming of age story. Next up, I have Night Speed by Chris Howard, and this one I basically picked up because of the cover. I'm not really sure what it's about. It's about this world where these teenagers can take this like drug called Tetra, and then they get like either super speed or like they get like these weird powers. And I'm not really sure. Like I said, I picked this one up based on the cover, honestly, but the cover is really pretty and it looks promising. I haven't read this one yet though. And next I have Unrivaled by Alison Noel, and this book I know is about like a world of like parties and glitz and glam, and I actually don't know where it goes, Hollywood, and it follows these people who are like kind of thrust into the spotlight at this like huge party, like this Hollywood party. I don't know, the cover and like the looking of this book was really, really cool. I love the white. So yeah, it sounds promising. I don't know when I'll ever get to this, but yeah, it sounds like a good story. And now I have It Wasn't Always Like This by Joy Preble. I'm not really sure. I actually just completed this book finally, and it was really good. It was really short. I think I read it in less than 24 hours. It was really, really good. It has a lot of stuff going for it. It follows a girl named Emma and Charlie, and it alternates between past and present because these two people are immortal because they drank this like liquid from this stream and it made them immortal. And so yeah, it's basically, they get separated in like 1916, and it's basically about Emma and Charlie who love each other trying to find their way back to each other. It was pretty good. I wouldn't say that it's something like really specially fantastic, but it was really quick and it was quite enjoyable. I have one of my favorite books that I read so far this year, and that is And I Darken by Kirsten White. I talked about this a little bit in my wrap-up, so go check that one out. But this is basically a Vlad the Impaler gender-swapped version, and Vlad the Impaler is what Bram Stoker based Dracula on. So yeah, it was fantastic. It's like lots of princesses and brutalness, and it was just really good. So definitely check it out. Next up, I have Never Missing, Never Found by Amanda Panich. I don't know how to say that, but this is basically about a young girl named Scarlett, and when she was little she was taken by a kidnapper, but she's okay. She ends up being saved and she's okay, but then she works at this amusement park, and on her first day of work, a child is actually taken while she's on duty, and she basically has to sort of come to terms that this kidnapper who kidnapped the young girl might be the same kidnapper who kidnapped her. Wow, that's a mouthful. I apologize. But it says she's done with the past, but the past isn't done with her. Like I said, I haven't read this yet. I'm not exactly sure, like, you know, what it's about, but that's sort of the basic premise. I've entered title here by Rahul Kanakia. And as much as I can tell, this is about a girl, and she is basically a college counselor's dream. She is, you know, doing all these crazy stuff to try to get into college. Like, she's just, you know, she does all these different extracurricular activities and is just like a beast when it comes to that kind of stuff. And then she turns out to write her own novel and get an agent and all that stuff. And I guess it's about her sort of journey doing all that. Anyway, it sounds like a really good coming of age story. This is getting like fantastic reviews. It comes out in August. So yeah, definitely check this out when it comes out. I haven't read it yet, but it sounds really good. The last book on the shelf is My Sister Rosa by Justine, Larbalestier. I'm sorry. And I've heard some people talk about this book so far, and I think it's about this boy who thinks his younger sister is insane and that she's going to hurt people, and I don't really know, the cover was really cool. It sounded like a heart-wrenching tale, and so yeah, I picked this one up when I had the chance. And now this is the overview of the second shelf, and starting from the far left, I actually have The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, which is my pride and joy. Basically, I want to display it because the cover is so absolutely beautiful, and because I love Nicola Yoon so much, and so getting that arc was one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And then at the middle I have a golden snitch from Harry Potter, and then below that I have a bunch of bookmarks with the crests on them, and then I have a little Dumbledore figurine, and then I have my TBR jar. And this is what the shelf looks like without all of that stuff in front of it, so let's get started. Okay, so starting first over here, the first book I have up here is A Whole New World, A Twisted Tale by Liz Broswell. This is a retelling of Aladdin. I really hated it. I don't even know how many stars I gave it, but I really didn't like it. I just thought that it was, I don't know, it was just really annoying to me. I thought the end was sort of action-packed, but other than that, it was literally basically the Aladdin movie. It's like a twisted retelling of the Aladdin story to where the evil guy, what's his name, he actually gets the lamp and he does all these evil things, but I don't know, I just didn't really like it. I read it a long time ago. Meh. But Zeros by Scott Westerfeld, Margot Lanigan, and Deborah Biancotti. And this book was really good. It's about these different kids who have all these different superpowers, and yeah, it was pretty good. I think I gave it 4 stars. I don't know if I'm going to be reading the next one, but it was pretty entertaining when I was reading it. They go on heists, and it was pretty cool. And next up I have The Accident Season by Moira Fowley Doyle, and this is sort of a book that I read around Halloween of last year, and I did not enjoy it. It's sort of a magical realism weird thing to where this girl is part of this family to where every October she her family becomes completely accident prone, and it was good. Like, the first half of it was really good, but then the second half was just strange and I didn't really know what was going on, so yeah. The next book I have is The Cage by Megan Shepherd. This was actually really good. This is about this like group of teenagers who are taken by aliens and put in a cage to be like observed. And yeah, I probably won't be reading the sequel, but this book was enjoyable when I was reading it. I have actually the first arc that I got, and that was Proof of Forever by Lexa Hillier. And this is about a summer camp of these like 4 teenagers that go there and they're best friends, but this summer they're actually not very close as they were in past summers, but then they get into a photo booth and they are shot back in time to a few summers ago when they were best friends, and they sort of reconnect and rebond, and it was just honestly fun. It was just lots of fun, and yeah, this came out last year, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And going right along, the months are kind of jumping. But next up I have Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter, and as much as I can tell, this is sort of like a magical Brooklyn story. It takes place in New York. I'm not really sure the magic system, but I know it's sort of like an urban fantasy dark thing, and I don't know, my book club leader thought that I would enjoy it, so I picked it up. Oh geez. So I'm willing to give it a shot. I have Genius by Leopoldo Gout, and this book is really cool. It has like cool drawings and stuff in it, I don't know. So this book is about like a contest that these teenage geniuses have to go through, and it's like a hacking thing. I'm not really sure. It just looked really cool, and the inside looks like really cool, like Illuminae. It sort of looks like that. Anyway, it just looked fun. I have The Square Root of Summer by Harriet Ruder Hapgood, and this is about a girl who is very good at math, and she has also lost her mother in the last few years, but she ends up going back in time a few years through a wormhole, and she gets to see all these different people that she knew and had previously passed away, or just all these different people that she gets to revisit and meet because she goes back in time. I haven't read this yet. It sounds interesting. And finally on this row, I have Flawed by Cecilia Ahern, and I actually just finished this book. I will talk about it more in my wrap-up, but this book was fantastic. It is a YA dystopian, so it's not very original. It's about the society to where it's a perfect, morally righteous society, and if you do any immoral action, you're branded as flawed, and yeah, it was just lots of fun. I will talk about it more in my wrap-up, so stay tuned for that. The first book I have here is 20 Questions for Gloria by Martin Bedford. I actually read this when I was getting my wisdom teeth out, so I don't really remember much about what it's about. I know it's about this disappearance to where this girl and this guy disappear together, and there's lots of questions, and it's told in like an interrogation style. I thought it sort of fell flat towards the end. I really liked it till like the halfway mark, and then it started to go downhill. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really remember exactly what happens. Next, I have The Keeper of the Mist by Rachel Neumeier. This one's really fun. I read this a really long time ago, but it's about this sort of society, this magical society, to where you sort of have a trinity of people. There's 3 different jobs, and this girl named Carrie actually ends up being like the Lord, and then like her 2 best friends actually end up being like the rest of the Trinity. I don't know, it's a really magical read. It's sort of not exactly YA. I would say it's more on the lower, younger YA side, but it's a fun time. Oh geez. Next I have The Last Place on Earth by Carol Snow. I haven't read this yet. I don't know if I ever will. I think it's about this guy who goes missing, and the only person who knows where he is like the only person who knows that he's missing is his best friend, who's a girl. I don't know. I don't really know what it's about. Next, I have The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. This is a fantastic book. It's basically about these 4 different teenagers living completely different lives in Alaska, and then they end up crossing paths in this tragic, wonderful way, and I just really loved it. It's so short, guys. It's like 200 pages, but it was fantastic. I ended up like bawling at this book because it was so sad. And I just felt for the characters so much, and it's just a wonder that I was so connected with them after so few pages. I have This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Niekamp. I'm sorry. And I've seen some people talk about this book. This is basically a minute-by-minute account of a school shooting. I read this in a day. It was really action-packed. I didn't love it. I didn't think that it was very accurate. I mean, I've never been in a school shooting, but I don't know. And it was just weird how every single main character had like a deep connection with the gunman. I just thought that was sort of realistic. Anyway, I don't know. It kept me entertained, and I think this is a really important book. I just think that it sort of fell flat. Next, I have 0 Day by Jan Gansey. This is about the disappearance of the president's daughter, and she ends up coming back, but she has a mission, and she's like a hacker, and she hacks into like the White House, and it's really fun. Basically, she has to betray her entire family, her like White House family, to try to do what her kidnapper, who is now her family, wants her to do. I know that was kind of confusing, but this book was really enjoyable, honestly. It was fun, it had lots of hacking stuff, so it was cool. Up is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Graden. This is an alternate history about Germany winning World War II, and he basically has this motorcycle race every year, and it's about the shapeshifter trying to win the motorcycle race. It's fantastic. I cannot wait for the sequel. This book was fantastic. The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. This is about a world where all these different people around the main characters are the general people you see in YA books, like the heroes and different things, but this follows the characters that are just sort of there while the rest of the heroes sort of do everything. I thought it was good. I thought it was unique and different. I don't know, I would rather be following a hero or a person with magical superpowers, honestly, but yeah. Now I have one of my pride and joys, and that is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. This book was fantastic. It's Alexandra Bracken. Of course it's going to be amazing. It's about time travel and a violinist, and I cannot wait for the sequel. I kind of need the sequel right now because this book was so good. And finally, I have Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, I'm not really sure how you say that. But it's about this world where there are these different witches, and we follow a truth witch, and she has a power that other people will die for, and we also follow a thread witch who is the truth witch's best friend, and the thread witch can basically see the bonds between people and create bonds between people, and it was really, really good. I read it for a book club, and it was fantastic. So there you guys go. That was the tour of my ARC shelf. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I know a bunch of these books you've probably never heard of, so that might have made it not enjoyable, but I hope you learned something. I know my summaries weren't very good, but a lot of these books I forgot the summaries for, and so I kind of had to read the back and sort of like say little summaries for them. Go check them out on Goodreads, especially the ones that I said were very good, because they're definitely worth a reading. If you guys thumbs up this video enough, I will do my actual bookshelf tour much sooner than I would have, because this was a lot of work, honestly, and this was just like a little shelf. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and like this video and comment down below anything you want to talk about. I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks again for everything. Goodbye.